The economies, global systems tend to be self-corrective on a larger scale. So as oil prices go up, there will be pressure on both the countries to come down on the escalation and end the war, because the rest of the world is suffering. We're also assuming that this war is going to get contained, while Iran and maybe Israel are trying to increase the context, increase the conflict zone by including all the GCC countries. Uh, if it goes on that way, it could be more of a problem. But if it gets contained, if there is sufficient pressure on the two nations to de-escalate, I think we should be all right. Why would they be? Why would the US even want to de-escalate when they are winning the war? Well, it's like this. While the Iranian military may not be bigger than the US, okay, they do have control on energy flow from GCC to the rest of the world. That's a choke point. So that's a huge leverage they have. With the least effort, they can control energy flow and energy prices for the rest of the world, which means they can inflict an economic pain on the rest of the world with least effort, which is why the rest of the world would be pressurizing US. And for the US also, even though they do produce a lot of oil and gas, at some point of time, the inflation is going to bite them. With midterm elections around the corner for the Republicans, and they have been speaking about affordability coming back, any high spike in inflation is going to hurt them in the elections. So they would also want to contain this at the earliest. So while the way they use language to pressurize seems very aggressive, they would be amenable to a deal, is what I am thinking, sooner than later. Let us hope that is what happens. See, even if inflation goes high, whether it's in the US or Europe or the Asian countries, central banks are going to be constrained by the use of monetary policy tools. So while they see inflation going higher, they will not be able to reduce interest rates. They will have to increase interest rates, and that is going to hurt growth. The world is generally looking to lower interest rates as we go ahead, so that growth can be supported. But if this kind of scenario plays out where inflation stays high for some time, growth will get impacted. And that is something that we have to be careful about. And that's also one of the reasons why the US may come to a deal sooner than later, so that growth is supported. Okay, so inflation and energy prices are going to eventually direct the outcome of this conflict. That is something that we need to keep in our mind.